development kit. So like Google has created this and it's an open source platform. So just know this word open source. The reason is, see, every other languages are controlled by their created companies. Okay. Whoever created it is controlling that language. So even if you learn, for example, if you learn Java and tomorrow like Oracle says that no, we are not supporting cool. So let the Flutter begin with. So like basically you guys would have been knowing Google. So Google has created a lot of SDKs. So Flutter is also one of a kind of SDK. So SDK means software development kit. So Java is also an SDK, software development in the videos. Okay. Let me share the second thing. So now I said like it can work on different platforms, right? So what are different platforms? I told you in a simple words. First thing, Android. So you would be having Android phones, obviously. So second thing, iOS. It can work on all iPhone, iPads, Mac OS, like which you can see, all the Apple devices can be worked. Next, like we also have a web app. So web app is like nothing but you have HTML, CSS, the web pages, right? So that also in a single code base, it can work. So you have to write code once and like all the platforms will be able to run, right? So this is the beauty of Flutter. Okay, so now like basically now you would be thinking like, okay, fine, it can run on different platforms, but what is the percentage, right? Like if you are an Android user, you would be obviously using Google Play Store, right? So if you want to think like what all apps are built on Flutter, right? Like it's a mobile app. So where can I see it? Right? So almost 20%, like 19.5%, that is 20% are in the Google Play Store. Okay, so the apps are on Flutter. That also in less than 3 years. Okay, so even though it went on the production, there is a development time which happens for the company, and later on they will be releasing it to audience, right? So basically 20% of the apps in Play Store are on Flutter. Okay, so there are many languages, right? Like there are like around 4 languages which you can write the apps on, like in Android. I'm specifically saying it's Android. In Android languages where you can write the like code on. So in that also, like just in 3 years, 20% of the other languages you could ask right now, like what are the other languages? So it's very simple. Like there was a Kotlin, there is Java, there is like other like React Native and all this stuff. Three combined. They are like in the industry for more than 10 years. More than 10 years also, they are like all these languages combined, they are only 60 to 70%, right? You're like 20% in less than 3 years, Flutter is built on. So if you ask me like, sir, you are telling like there are many apps, like how can I find it out? So you can't find it out so similarly because like Flutter, I mean, no one tells their like languages, Flutter, right? Like because of their trade secrets. So very simple word where I can tell you like this is one app which is built on Flutter is Google Pay. I think you guys would be using Google Pay, right? So all the transactions, I mean, just think there is it holds 36% margin, I mean market share for all the UPI transaction which happen in India. I mean, 36% is in billion transactions per day. Okay. Even then, like Flutter is able to handle that kind of stress for Google, right? Google Pay is one of the app, like Phone Pay is using Flutter. I mean, I will show you all the companies which are using Flutter in the later stage. So let me admit some people. Okay, cool. So this is something, but now, like, what about this course? Like, first thing is why you have to learn this Flutter, right? You are in a confusion that why I have to learn Flutter, right? So something is new is coming into the market and people are adapting to it. So if it was before 2 years, I would have never recommended you Flutter. But at the stage it is growing right now, right? So all the new age companies, if you talk about Cred, so Cred was in Kotlin, like the normal language, okay, to write the Android app, but they shifted it from there to the present one, the Flutter. It's on Flutter right now. So if you see the Cred app, you can see a lot of animation. So it's basically adapting itself towards the app, right? So towards the environment, and many people are interested to do it because they don't need much people, right? If there are 30 developers previously, now with Flutter they can just work on with 10 developers. So it's very simple, right? Because there is only one code for all the platforms, so there is no need to hire like 10 developers for each platform. So this is the beauty of it. And coming to the course, that's why I would recommend the Flutter for learning when it compares to Java or any other things, because this is also a full stack language, and like you can do a lot of front end development, back end development, all this stuffs, right? So now let's go a little bit deeper into the course. So what is course? I mean, course is an wrong word, right? So it's something like I want it as an application, right? So where you can code. I'll be just telling you, hey, this is how this works. Because if you just listen to lectures, I don't think you'll be learning anything, right? If that was the case, like all your engineering things would have and already you have been in a different stage, right? So our course is designed like this. It's only 40% lecture because you need to understand the basics, how a Flutter works and all this stuff. But 60% is pure coding. So, and also pure coding, not from my end, it will be from your end also. Okay, so you'll be also coding, and like the lecture, like basically lecture I'll be giving, obviously. So this is the overview of it. Now, again, I don't want to bore you guys with all this lecture again with the course. Let me start with the coding, right? So I will tell you how Flutter works, right? So that's where like you will be able to see the magic of Flutter, right? So let me share my other screen. I think you're able to see my black screen where code is written, correct? Can anyone please confirm?
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
can.
Perfect. Sounds good. Do you have, before I start, do you guys have any questions about Flutter, like whatever happened till now? You can respond, it's fine. Okay, I'll take that as a no.
No
And
question.
okay, let me go ahead. So now if you see the my screen, so it's a Flutter. I mean, there is an Android phone over here. Just a minute, I will push this aside. Let me close this. So if you see, like let me start a new project. There's an Android phone over here, and let me start a new Flutter projects, because you think that I've already written a code and I'm just explaining on it, right? So I'll not do that. Like let me create a new Flutter project, and just think I'm not writing any code. Like I'm just creating a new project. Okay. So let me click on next. So let me create as a demo of 3 or 4, whatever it is. This is a project name, and you're just giving the addresses of it. Okay, so and then I'm just creating the project. So it's just saying like creating the Flutter project. Okay, now let me open in this window only. Terminate and terminate. Okay, now there's a project which got open, right? Uh, if you see here, there is a cookbook which got generated. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, we can
Yes, sir.
hear.
Audible, sir.
Okay, perfect. So if you see, like there is a code which got generated. I mean, you guys saw, right? Like I didn't create anything. I didn't code anything. I just created a project, but the code came. Okay. So this we call in terms of like coding language as cookbook. Okay. What it is called as cookbook. So what does a cookbook mean? So cookbook is something like a code is actually created by the coding developers, like whoever has created this Flutter. Now, in this case, it was Google. So they are creating this Flutter as a dummy project, as a sample project for us to say that, hey, the Flutter is running perfectly with you. The project has been created. You can try and test it out. So let's not create your own program. Let me try to change some things in the same program and explain you. The reason why I'm doing this, if you want to try out in your home, like all these things, so you can try out because it's the same code. You'll be seeing like, because it's a cookbook, right? Like I am not creating any other things, right? So let me tell you the beauty of this. So this black screen, what you're seeing is called as Android Studio. I'm repeating it. It's called as Android Studio. It's an IDE. Okay, so where the program is run. Okay, so there are different controls in Android Studio. There are different kind of IDEs. There is a VS Code, there is Android Studio, there is Sublime, there is IntelliJ, which where you can run your code. Okay, but like I'm choosing Android Studio because it's an industry standard. Okay, it depends on different companies to companies, but most of the companies try to use Android Studio. So this is a free version of it. Even the companies, I mean, there is a paid version where you will be getting 2024 ka support, but this is a free version. Okay, so for you guys also to learn, please try to learn with a free version. Okay, 1 second. Okay, good. So let me go step by step. So if you see the code over here, there's a lot of things. There's a class, there is a widget, there is a material app, like all the things are there. Like I know it is very confusing for you right now. Like what is this code, right? So let me go little bit deeper for you to for you guys to understand. So this language is called as Dart, Dart. So what is Dart? So Dart is a language for Flutter to understand the languages. Okay, it's called as typed language. So again, a new word, like you will be confusing. How many new words are you telling, sir? Right? So typed language is something like you can type it with the knowledge of English. Okay. So if you guys know English in a normal like nature, you'll be able to write any code in this. I will tell you, I will give you an example, post this. So now here you can see all the things are having something called as widget. So widget is nothing but whatever you see on the screen. Let's take for an example in your case only. You guys would have used phone pay, correct? I think everyone over here has used phone pay or Google Pay, correct? Okay. So you use phone pay, there you can see a lot of buttons, right? All those individual buttons are called as widgets. So all those small icons are also called as widgets. So in Flutter, everything whatever is on the screen is called as widget. So the main advantage of a widget is it's already written in the code. For example, so here there is Flutter demo widget. So this is a string, right? It's a letter, it's a word, it's a sentence, right? This sentence, if you want to show on the screen, so it's a text widget, right? You text to different people, you text with your girlfriend, you text with your friends, all these things, right? So there is a text which is going on. It's just normal English. There is no other difference in it. So the same thing is happening here. If you see here, like if you want to print that, there is a text widget. Simple, clear. And now here is a text widget. Now you want to know what is the background color of it. Some people like to put their photo in background in WhatsApp chats. If you see, like they will be having photos in their background, they'll be having a different color in their background. Same, very similar. You can put a background color here. Again, simple English. You can just write your, this is like, again, it's a big letter, right? Let me change it. Let me change it to colors dot. You will get all the colors which you want. Okay, colors, again, it's in simple English. Okay, I think, let's take with something called as deep orange right now. Okay, now I've written a code where text is taking a widget, which is nothing but it is taking from here, right? Flutter demo homepage. This is a string which I want to print, or like you can say like it's a string which I want to show on the screen. Okay, now again it's coming to lecture, right? Like again, you guys will be saying like 40% lecture, sir. Like it's already more. Let me run the code for you, right? So now, like the beauty of this is, right now I told you, right? It runs on 4 different platforms right now on production. Clarity again, production is right now, which is available for all the developers. In future, there will be a lot of other platforms, but right now it's available for 4 platforms. If you see here, there is Chrome. Chrome is nothing but web. I mean, the website. Then it is Pixel 4. Pixel is actually an Android device. Then there is iPhone. I don't need to explain you what is iPhone. And then it is Mac OS. The Mac OS is something which I'm running on. But there is a twist over here. If you want to run on any iOS or any Apple devices, you need to be having an Apple device to run it. For example, if you have a Windows device and if you want to run this code on as a simulator for an iPhone, it won't be able to run. It will be only possible if you have a Mac. The reason for this is there is a security thing from iPhone where from Apple where you can't run their apps on different OSs. Okay, so that's why that's the is, but this is on Mac. So that's where like you are able to see all the options. Now you'll be asking, sir, I don't have a Mac, like can I run it on iPhone? Yes. for sure you can run. There are many tools where you can just assemble a any other simulators and you can run it. There's no that, but out of the box you won't get it. So out of the box you will get it for Android, you will get for web and all. But the same, it's the same code, right? Like even if you have a Mac or even if you have an Windows or even if you have a Chrome wala laptop, it doesn't matter. Even if you have Linux, it doesn't matter, right? So it doesn't depend on your laptop. It depends on how you code, right? It is always depends on the person who is writing the code. Okay, let me hurry it up a little bit. Let me select iPhone 4 API, right? Sorry, Pixel 4 API. So there are running devices in my device. So this is an Android phone. So let me run the project for you. I didn't write any code. I just changed the color from like some other things to orange, right? So I'm running it. And also this computational, wherever you're seeing here, it's running. So this speed, how much time it will take to build the project and it will run on the system depends on your laptop. If you're buying a 10,000 rupees laptop, it will be little bit slow, whereas it will be different for an 1 lakh or 2 lakhs worth of laptop. But again, it is not a factor where it defines like your coding structure. Code is different, whereas your laptop is completely different, right? So now it has built, it took like what, 3-4 seconds. Correct. So now the your app is ready. Okay. Now I think you guys are able to see my screen. Correct. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
perfect. Okay. So now you saw an app which is running, right? I didn't do anything. It was a cookbook. Okay. So now let me click on this button. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just clicking and the counter is running, right? And this is a screen. So now a beautiful question for you guys. So I said everything is a widget. Is this white screen a widget? Yes. Is this orange background is a widget? Yes. If you're seeing here, there is something called as debug. Is that a widget? Yes. Flutter demo homepage, that's a text, right? That is also a widget. Yes. So there is a button. That's also a widget. Yes. So that means that everything, whatever you see on the screen is a widget. Simple concept. There's nothing rocket science in it. Whatever you see on the screen, if you break it down individually, then it's a widget as per in Flutter coding language. Okay. Now, so here, like you saw, like all the things are going. Like now, how to change something over here? Like there's a string which is already written, but 5 is coming here. Like I just want it how many times ke jagah mein, like I want this instead of many. Like let us put the counter, like this 5 wala thing. So here you can see there is a text widget and there's a counter which is being shown here, right? So let me copy this stuff. I will explain you what are errors also in the same screen. I pasted here, but it is showing me an error, correct? What is that error? It's showing that a constant. Second thing is it's showing like there is a comma which should not be there. All these errors are shown here. Now let's like clear one by one the errors, right? So I don't want this because it's already inside a string, correct? So, and this is not needed. They're showing as invalid constant value. What is constant? If you guys know, constant means, hey, you're a constant in my life. This is something like you will be telling to a friend or any other people, like you're a constant in my life and all this stuff. No? So constant is something that which won't change. It's anything, but counter changes here, right? Counter changes from 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times you click the button over here? That's what the coding says here, right? So now I'll remove the constant here, which is written. Now the errors are clear. You see that everything is correct over here and like no problems found. So let me refresh it. Please note this word. It's called as refresh. Okay. I just refreshed. You can see here 5. Okay. So for you guys to understand, I use the word refresh. I mean, even in normal, when you're talking in company, it will be refresh only, but it's called as hot reload. Okay. So what does hot reload mean? So basically in any language, if you take Kotlin, Swift or so web is a different story. It's not a compiled language, but if you take any other stuffs, right? So it will actually build the app again and then it will be installing in the device and then you can see the changes. Whatever counter changes I made, if you are writing the same code in Kotlin or Swift, it's a different story. You have to compile it again. It will take minimum 1 minute to do that. But in Flutter, it's a beauty of it. Like if you click one button, that is a lightning over here, that is hot reload, you can just like show it. So now you have seen that you have pushed this button 5 times. Now if I change it, it is changing. basically based on that, right? Now, again the same question, right? Like, sir, you told about button, like basically you told that you are changing the counter and you change it. We are okay with it. Okay, but change something else, right? So let's take this constant wala here. There is an add. So this is the beauty of it, right? This is a compiled language. So everything, whatever is named as widget, you will be getting it directly from Flutter only. You don't need to code anything. So see here, if you see like all the widgets, I mean, if you see the pointers over here, right, it is showing the icon also in the side. Let me change it to some other icon. Let me change it to a boy which who is standing. Let me art reload it. If you see here, it's already changed. Correct? Are you guys able to see this small widget? Right? So it was not even a second. If you refresh it, it will come there. So that's how fast your language is. Okay. So this is just a basic example. I will not go deeper because you guys need to understand the core concepts, and then you will be able to understand this. What is a widget? What does internal widget do? How many types of widgets are there? All these things. There are like around 60 to 80 widgets, which are mostly used. These 60 to 80 widgets, if you are able to learn, you can build an app like PhonePay or Google Pay. Okay, but it also needs an API integration and all, which I will be telling you what all you will be needing to build and complete it. So this is a basic. Okay. Now I told you like it can run on different platforms. There is right now only one Android device which is running, correct? So nothing else is running. You can run it on iPhone 15 Plus also. Okay. Um, Let me run it. So are you able to see my other screen where my iPhone 15 and all is shown? Or is it only the black screen where you're seeing the Flutter demo page?
No, we can see the mobile.
You can see the mobile, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. 22.
Okay. 1 second. I'll reshare the screen where iPhone 15 is shown. Okay. Are you able to see the iPhone 15
Yes, sir.
right now? Okay, good. So if you
Yes.
see that, so there is an overlay for it. Where you can see that there's a Flutter demo homepage, the same button where like if you see we have changed this plus button to an other thing like where it is being shown, and the same code is being run here also. But there is a difference, right? If you see here, the Flutter demo page is in single, I mean it's in a center screen, right? Whereas previously it was in the it was aligned from the right. I will tell you the difference. Right now I can't show that screen. I will just share the screen like process. Please remember this. Now, if you see the same code is being run on iPhone 15 Plus also. Okay. Now, here you can see right now, previously I pressed the button like 13, 14 times and it was showing 13, 14 times. Now here it started from 0. Did you guys observe it? So what is this? Why was it different? Right? So the difference is very simple. So when you run any web app, it's running, the core is in the language. Okay. Whereas the core, from the core, like it will be going to different OSs, like web. If it is on mobile, it will be running the same web on it. If it is on desktop, it will be running the same core will be in the language. But Flutter is not like this. Flutter is different. So Flutter uses your OS ka core. That means that if you are using an Android, it will be using that core and it will be running on it. So that's why it called as compiled, completely compiled language. So the main advantage of this, right? You can run it on like a lot of devices, 4 devices with different states. You don't need to worry. Hey, in Android it was showing 13. If I run it again here, it will also show 13. That won't happen because it is having a different core. iPhone and Android, sorry, Android and iOS will never be connected through our code. It will always be a separate platform. The same story happens to a Chrome browser, right? So now you saw the same code working on iPhone 15, right? Now let me change the color to instead of deep orange, let me change it to something else. Let me take it as like yellow, right? Like let me refresh it. So you will be able to see the Flutter demo page where the top of it is coming as yellow, right? So this is the beauty of it. Like you can change a lot of things and like it is independent of all the stuffs. Now, since you saw this, let me go back to my other screen. where the code is written. So now if you see, now I have changed the colors to amber accent, that is nothing but yellow. If you see here, like it will show a preview of how the hello color looks. But in Android, it's still like orange only, right? It didn't change. Now let me refresh this screen. Let me select it back to iPhone 14 and like let me run it. If you see it, it again changed to orange. Sorry, yellow. So this is the beauty of it. So basically everything has its own core. So you don't need to worry like, is this the way I have to code like in Android? Is this the way I need to connect to iOS and all the things, right? So that won't happen here. And also I told you guys that there is a difference in the core, right? So if you see here, there is this Flutter demo widget, which is aligned from the right or left, right? Like it is not in the center. But if you see in iPhone, it is in the center. So this is called as material design. So this design system is built for different systems. Like basically for iOS, there is its own design system. It's called as iOS kit. Whereas in Android, it's called as material kit. For web, it is like a normal kit. Like they don't have any other kit because it depends on the developer, right? So here, if you see, once like you have this alignment, it will actually adopt itself to the core, whichever core it is. Like it can be like all the other platforms, right? Based on the platforms, it will decide its core and it will run based on it. So my advantage is you don't need to worry about all the things. Now, did I do any code? I changed the colors. I just changed some things and you're able to run the complete app. So now just think like this. You can create an APK and you can start sharing it to your friends also. So this complete APK can be built by using Flutter only. You don't need to do any other things. So this is a beauty and you can upload it on Google Play Store, App Store and all this stuff. Now let's talk about this mobile, like mobile, both the iOS and Android. Let's go to Chrome, right? You will be asking like, should I learn HTML, CSS, and like do the React or like all these things and just do a web development because that's a front-end language? This doubt you will be guys, I will be having, right? But why can't I say you like just learn Flutter? You'll be able to run it on every device, right? You can run it on web, iOS, Android, all these things, right? So now I've selected Chrome. Let me run it and reshare my screen to Chrome. Let it run and then I will be sharing it. So if you're seeing like it's just running the debug service on Chrome, I think you're able to see my screen. So here it's running, launching. So for web, it takes a little bit more time than Android and iOS. So now it has run. Like if you see it, it has the app is linked. Now let me share the screen where it is being run. So you can see here it's already being run, right? So there is a Flutter demo homepage, the same color, and this is a website. Like if you see this is a Chrome, right? If you click on this, like you can search anything, right? So this is a Chrome, like even here the states work, right? So this is the beauty of it. So you can run it on any language. So it's the same thing. Like if I want to change the color to instead of yellow, let me change it to something red and let me refresh. The same refreshing works here, right? So I didn't change anything in the code. I just like ran it in different OSs, right? So this is the main advantage of Flutter. Okay. Now, I think you guys understood like why it is so powerful and why the coding is very less. I mean, if you see right now, like I said text and you're able to see the text. I said background color and you are able to see the color. And if I say like colors dot, I mean red color I want, you can do colors dot red and you will be able to change the color like this. Everything is simple. If you are able to see the code, I have added center over here where this is the center. Like if I remove this widget and like if I run it on Pixel 4 and like just run it. So it's just doing an hot restart and you can see like center came out, right? And this is a column. Column is nothing but one top and bottom, right? Like you can see here, right? Instead of this, if I make it a row, right? So let me change it a row. What is a row? It just like one beside the other, right? Like let me refresh it. So if you see this, like here, like the zero is coming down just because like, so it's running on Chrome. Let me run it on this one. So if you see that it came beside, right? If it is a column, it is going up and down, right? Like let me refresh it. So now let me do an hot reload. Sorry, it's running on Pixel 4, so I need to rerun. So if you see here, like again, it came to here, like let me put it again center, let me refresh it. So it again will be going to the same position, right? So that simple it is. Like if I don't want this widgets like text and all this stuff, you can just comment it. This is called as comment in like basically Flutter. If you just comment it, and refresh it, you won't be able to see the counter. If you see 0, it went. So that fast it is. And the same thing will be applicable to all the platforms. You have to just rerun it again and it will start working. So this is a lot of coding when you think out of the box, because it's running on 3 platforms, but you're writing the code very in a very English based language. If you know like a normal kind of English also, you can write this language, because of only one reason: it's a typed language. So there's difference between a lot of languages. Typed language is like you will be getting everything out of the box. You just need to know like what widget you have to call and you will be able to do it. Very, very simple, right? So let me not bore you again with a lot of these things. Let me stop the sharing and let me go to my presentation. I think you guys are able to see my presentation, correct? So let us go one step by step. So this is let's go to the next slide. So what all things will be there in the project, like what you will be learning and what is the future of it, right? So let me show you the syllabus. So there is a lot of things which you have to learn. So first thing is the widgets, right? So widgets are like almost 60 to 70, and like you have to learn these things like to become a proper Flutter developer. Okay, then you have to know how to state management, like basically how to know like what state the app is in. Right now, though, you saw a counter, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a state. When 4 is there, and it should, whenever you refresh, it should not come to 0. It should be in 4 only. If you saw our design also, like when I was explaining you the 1 second. Okay. When you are seeing our example, whenever I refresh, it was not changing its state. It was always 4 means 4 only it was there. So this is the state management. So then like you will be able to create your own Flutter app, like which is the first project. Second project, you will be going little bit advanced. You'll be learning animations, motions and everything. Then you will be understanding the navigations and all. Then like you will be understanding the API calls. Like all these materials will be sent to you post this call. So all the API calls. So what is an API call, right? So I said that this is a proper front-end language when it comes as an box, right? But it can do a lot of things, right? It can work as a backend language also. But here, like we are connecting it to the server. So for example, you just need to call the server and get the authentication done. If you see PhonePe, you will be able to log in with the OTP and go ahead, right? So the same thing. There's nothing else. It's the same thing. Okay. So this API calls will be done, right? You'll be able to understand that also. And then the project 2 comes, like you'll be able to build your own custom widgets. And then like you will be able to make your animations. Okay. So like that, like we have the state management, the patterns. There are different patterns for it. And that patterns also you'll be able to learn. You will be able to make a project 3 where to-do list, right? You will be having a notes app in your applications. It will be pre-built. Like that application you will be able to make, and like adding like basically you have to add a note, you have to delete a note, you have to edit a note. All these things you will be learning by project 3, right? So then like it will be deployment stage, right? So deployment makes a quite different story. So you need to upload it on Google Play Store, App Store, and then you have to make a proper API, right? Like proper app. It's not like you can make an notes app and you can put it on Google Play Store. So let's make a different project. So this time it's quite different. We will be making a weather forecast. So weather forecast means like what is the weather in Bangalore, Hyderabad. If many people are from Andhra, basically what is the temperature over there and all these stuffs, right? So these things you will be able to learn in project 4. So this takes easily 45 days to like 2 months for you to complete. So you need to understand day by day. And our course is designed like in a way that where you guys will be asking me about the code rather than about the doubts in technical things. Like, right? So there is nothing like lecture over here. It's like hands-on coding. And the coding is as less as 30%. Okay. So if you want to code the same language, same app in a different language, it will take, if it takes 100%, in Flutter, it takes only 30%. And also in that 30%, you can be able to build in different platforms. So this is the beauty of Flutter. Okay. Now, again, a same question, right? Okay, sir, I'm like convinced with it. I will learn all these things. But thing is like, what is the future of it? Like, what will I get out of it, right? So let me share my screen again. Let me go to the Google Chrome. Okay, so are you able to see a website which is named as Flutter on the top?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is the Flutter.dev showcase. I will just send this to you guys also in the chat. Uh, you can also open it. Okay. So what does this do? So this says how many companies are using this Flutter. So you'll be asking me the question, sir, okay, sir, I learned it. How many companies are like hiring for this? Correct. This is a common question you guys will be getting, right? So I told you this is going 30% year on year. Like every year, 30% growth is there in Flutter, which is like a maximum. Okay, so even when you talk about Java, in the starting days, it was going in 10%. Okay, year on year, but Flutter is 30% year on year growth. Okay, let me show. Many companies are using this. In that, the major story is BMW. If you see like a Google Pay, as I said, I to give you an example. There is Nubank. All the banking apps mostly use Flutter. So Alibaba is using ByteDance. I think you guys will be using TikTok and all this, right? Right now it's banned, I know, but it was built on Flutter. And like now, though, you guys are feeling that okay, sir, like there is a lot of things going on. Tell me something which I know. Dream 11 though everyone is using, correct? Like at least like 50% of the people over here are using Dream 11. It's built on Flutter. You guys won't know it, but the thing is, it's the thing. Now, like the beauty of this is PUBG, right? PUBG is completely built on Flutter. If you want, like I'll be sharing you this video. Like you can just see it. The beauty of it, how fast it can run for itself, right? So a game can be built on complete Flutter. So this is a future, right? Like you're just investing on a future right now. So this is completely, I mean, this is nothing like where I have built the website and all. This is from Flutter and it's completely managed by Google only, right? So it's completely on Google. Like if you see here, right? So see the companies which are using this: Dream11, Google Ads, ByteDance, Google Pay, like Toyota, all the, and also another beauty of this is if you have any car in your home or like anything, if you see there is a panel, right? Like the dashboard where you can play the music or not. Those things, ke liye they will use Flutter only. Okay, because of the UI. UI is very big, and also many of the banking apps use this because this is very, very, very secure. Okay, so this is the beauty of it. So now I'm saying that there's a future. You will be like, okay, sir, I just met you today. How can I trust you? Right? You don't need to trust me. You just open LinkedIn. You just search as Flutter developer. Okay, you only search it like in your own LinkedIn. You will be able to find that LTM Mindtree is hiring, Infosys is hiring. LTM Mindtree has 400 openings for Flutter right now. Also, if you want, you can open LinkedIn and you can check it. Okay, so there's a lot of companies who are hiring for Flutter right now, and most of the things like you will be junior and senior level because Flutter is only new, right? Like you can't get a 10 years experience guy in Flutter. Max to max, you can find is 5 years experience guy, right? So because it was just released before in 2019. So this is the beauty of it. You are in the starting stages of it, right? So this is an investment which you guys will be I mean doing, and also it's a very secure coding language because all the banks are also using it. So they want a secure language to be working, right? So this is the beauty of complete Flutter. Okay, now you understood what is Flutter, what are widgets, what is the future of it, and how can you like code it, right? Like in a simple way, like how in English, if you speak, like the same thing it is. So this is very, very, very simple concept. But the thing is, you need to learn it in a proper way so that like you can build production level apps. Right. So this is a very brief, very, very brief introduction of Flutter. Let me go into the next stage. Let me wrap it up. So Flutter may the beauty of Flutter is once you start learning it, you will never let it go, right? The thing is, 20% in 3 years in the Google Play Store is not a joke, right? So 20% means almost like 1 billion plus apps are there on Flutter. And if you see the companies over here, they are like the next level apps, like PUBG. If you just talk about PUBG only, like so many people are playing, and it's a game and it's built on Flutter. So this is the beauty of like how fast it can run, right? So let me end my statement with those words. Now let me take your questions because I know like you guys will be having a lot of questions. So let me take it up. You can ask any questions. Be open. Like what do you want to ask? There are still 10 minutes where you can ask me any questions. Stays to you guys. Yeah, Pramod, I think you raised the hand. Do you have any question? Pramod? Okay, cool. Do you guys have any other questions, guys? You can be open. You can be asking any questions like related to Flutter or like what's the future. Anything you can ask. It's fine.
Hello,
Wow.
myself Malyadri.
Hello. Yes. Please ask. No worries.
What is the future of Flutter?
So future of Flutter, as I said, right? So there is a lot of companies who are actually using this. So future may like there will be like the plan of Google is like max to max all the languages. See, Google Play Store is from Google only. Flutter is also from Google only. Simple concept. They will make this a global language. They want all the apps on Google Play Store to be on Flutter. So still there is 80% vacancy in the company in the things and all the apps. Like there are like so many companies who are doing this like development. Now it will be like right now, if it is like 100 companies, then it will be 200 companies like that. You will be having a great future like with respect to Flutter. So then once you learn like do a proper application and put it on Play Store, you will be in a different stage. So this is the future of Flutter. And I mean, BMW is not a small company, right, to adopt Flutter into their cars, right? So Kotak is not at all a small bank to tell that, hey, Flutter is a new language, let's take it. They would have thought like why Flutter is, right? So that's the beauty of it. So like, you like very simple, like it's like taking into a different future. Mm. And
Hi,
also
myself.
asking English or Kannada or Telugu also. Any doubts if you have, there's no problem. I know Kannada, I know Telugu. I can let you guys know also in Telugu or the complete class. That's not a problem. So yeah, you guys can ask
May I
in.
audible?
Sorry.
May I audible?
Yeah.
Actually, I joined the session after 20 minutes. I missed the starting introduction.
Mhm.
May I know which language we are using here and which tool we are using?
So we are using Android Studio. It's from IntelliJ. We are using a programming language called as Dart. It's from Flutter only. I mean, if you learn Flutter, Dart is like combination of it. The language is called as Dart. And like the Flutter is the SDK.
Okay.
Okay.
Here the role is only developer or else testing also involved here.
No, it would be developer. So testing is a quite different field. It's a proper developer. It's a development in 3 different platforms like Android, iOS, and a web. Okay, 3 different platforms. So right now many people are hiring based on if you see a web developer wala post also you can apply. If you see mobile developer ka post also you can apply. If there is specific Android developer post also on LinkedIn you can apply. If there is an iOS developer post also you can apply. So previously for tester you will be having only one option, right, like to apply for it. But here I'm giving you with the same language 4 options.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Any other guys have questions? Like you can ask in your language also, Telugu, Kannada, anything works.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. First, let me ask first question.
Hmm.
Companies will prefer React Native or Flutter?
Correct. That's a good question, Apeksha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So React Native versus Flutter. So this is a common question in our field, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
main disadvantage of React Native is it won't work on the core. Okay. So as I said, if you have attended the complete session, you would be knowing that this works on core. Okay. So the thing is, React Native like will build on top of its code only. Like there will be a React Native core, and on top of it, it will build. But in Flutter, there is an Android core on top of it, it will build. Because of this, Flutter is completely fast and Flutter is completely like secure. If you talk about React Native, someone hacks the core of React Native, you won't be able to like basically build anything of it, right? The same thing happened with many kinds of language. If there is an problem in the core, then like it will be even if the bank is using React Native, then they will be like easily hackable. But it's not the same case with Flutter because Flutter uses the Android core, Flutter uses the iOS code, Flutter uses the OS, whichever the core is. So first thing, it is very secure. That's why many banks are trying to use it.
Great. Got it. And my second question is, see, not a big app, a mid-range app, just like a taxi booking or something at a production level, like how many days it will take to build if
So
we
it
learn
depends.
from scratch starting day one.
Correct. So basically, you should be knowing the thumb rule. Okay. So thumb rule is
Mm-hmm.
something like one screen per day or like 2 screens per day. Like this, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on
Mm-hmm.
company to company. There are many kinds of animations. Like there, if there is like the taxi should come from bottom to top or top to bottom, it depends on it. Like for a very basic screen, it will take max to max 1 month to build a production ready app. Like talking about like around 8 to 9 screens ka complete app. If you want to
Okay.
give an example, if you have used Ola app, Ola only cab
Mm-hmm.
app. So only
Mm-hmm.
cab, not any other things. Only cab booking ka, that can be built in a month.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you so much.
And also the same code can be used on different platforms. You don't need to build again for iOS and Android. It's the same code. So again, like 30x you are building for both the platforms. Cool guys. Any other questions? We have 3 minutes left. Okay, cool. I think if there is no questions, there is a message being circulated. Like you can call that number and we'll be able to start the sessions. Like already there is a lot of enrollment, so be fast to enroll. Like basically you'll be able to understand the beauty of like how you can code. Just think, right? Like leave about Flutter ka future. Just think about mobile ka future. In this, how many people have you actually used Instagram on a browser? No one, right? So it always you will use the app only. So the future is mobile. So just think about it, invest in the future. That's what I will be saying. Nothing much. So cool guys, like enjoy. Have a great weekend. I think it's the last day Sunday. So be happy, enjoy. Cool. We'll reach out. You can reach me out on LinkedIn or like on the WhatsApp group which we have. The LinkedIn link will also be shared in this chat. You can reach out to me. You can see my background, where I've been working, how I've been partner with the government of India. All these things are there on my LinkedIn. I've just shared the link. You can just send me a connection request, and like I'll be happy to reach you out, or like you can even connect to me on the WhatsApp group which the team has created. Cool, fine. Bye.
Thank
Have a
you.
great.
Thank you so much, Rupesh. Thanks for wonderful demo session. Hello,
Thank
guys.
you.
If you guys are interested, please reach out us. Okay, we have given the contact number in the chat. Okay, and also visit our website kvr techminds.com. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.